Hello, BookTube. Well, the U.S. Postal Service and UPS are still trying to be extra nice to me, to butter me up for the fact that they're going to be off the job on not only Sunday, but Tuesday as well. Tuesday is a federal holiday here in the United States. That's going to be 2 bleak and barren days without mail, and they're clearly getting their work done ahead of time because today's mail haul is nice size, and it ends in not 1, not 2, but 3 boxes. So I thought we'd go through them together and see if it appeases me. We'll start with this one. It's nice and small. Let's see what's of interest here. Oh, and while we're doing this, I thought I should. I've got a bunch of new viewers, so I thought I would stress once again a couple of things. Things I used to start every mail haul with. The first one being that if you see a book that I get in the mail that you really, really want, not a whim, not a I might get to it, not if it's on the sidewalk I might bend down and pick it up, not as I've heard from viewers in the past, well, if you were to send that to me, I might look at it. Thanks. Thanks very much. But if you see something that you really want, then let me know. Because if you've been watching any of these mail hauls, you know that I ordinarily get an advanced copy and a finished copy. And even if I don't, even if I only get 1 copy, there's only a very small percentage of these things that I am going to end up keeping once I'm done reviewing them. So I'd be happy to mail it to you. And thing number 2 that I used to start every video with, it went a little south, but it's also yielded successes, so is that if you see something here and you feel like trying your hand at reviewing it, not just reading it, but actually writing about it, if you are seriously interested in doing that, in addition to reviewing books all over the place, I'm also the managing editor of a literary journal, Open Letters Monthly, and we are always perfectly open to new writers. I'd be happy to help you along if that's something that interests you about any of these books or any other books. So again, just let me know in the comments field. Now that we're done with that, let's go on here. So okay. All right, first one is something I did not request. This is an author who was born in 1966 in Equatorial Guinea. His name is Juan Tomás Avila Laurel, and this is a book called The Gurugu Pledge. The Gurugu Pledge. On Mount Gurugu, overlooking the Spanish enclave of the Melilla in the North African coast, desperate migrants gather before attempting to scale the city's walls and gain asylum on European soil. Inspired by first-hand accounts, the novelist has written an urgent book by turns funny and sad, bringing a distinctly African perspective to a major issue of our time, which I assume is immigration. Okay. So this comes out in paperback in late August, and it has a blurb by William Volman, which is no small thing. Okay, so interesting. I've been noticing I'm getting a lot of books that I did not ask for. That's both encouraging and a little scary. Oh, all right, now this one I did ask for. This is a nature book. It comes out in paperback in mid-October. I will certainly be reviewing it. I don't know where, but I will certainly be doing that. It's called Tamed and Untamed, Close Encounters with the Animal Kind. And it's by Cy Montgomery, who did The Soul of the Octopus, and Elizabeth Marshall Thomas, who did The Hidden Life of Dogs. So it's, between them, they've written a lot of great stuff about animals. Although The Hidden Life of Dogs was a bestseller, and I got a lot of people talking and thinking about dogs, but it infuriated me. And if those of you who've read it might be able to pick up on a couple of reasons why. But it has little spot illustrations, and it's a bunch of 2-page essays on a multitude of subjects: discarded animals, bush meat, fear of snakes, the death of your favorite dog, acquiring a new dog, disgusting animals that people find disgusting, like rats and stuff like that. And I like the collaborative approach. I like that. I like the fact that I'm not going to get only one voice. I'm not a huge fan of the cover, but that's okay. So I will gobble this up probably soon, and then review it when the time comes. great. So, all right, we move on from there. What have we got here? Oh, all right, okay. This is comes out in as a paperback in just a week, and it's something that those of you who watch SFF 180, Thomas's channel SFF 180, will probably have seen. Those of you who are not watching him really should be watching him. As far as science fiction and fantasy goes, he is the place to look on BookTube, and he does fantastic discussion videos. Oh, he just did one recently. And he does really, really good reviews. And of course he goes all sorts of places too. He goes to conventions and whatnot. He's a BookNet Fest speaker, but he also goes elsewhere and films it. But one of the staples of his channel is the same thing as here, book hauls, where he opens the mail and shows you the books, or showcases the books, which is what I should be doing, isn't it? And then talks about them a little, it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing to watch that when the person who's opening the books doesn't need prep time to talk about the book, when they know enough about the field or the author or whatever to just extemporize interestingly. But anyway, he got this on his channel, and it interested me. It's a let's see here. It's the United States of America is no more. Tell me something I don't know. Broken into warring territories, its center has become a wasteland DMZ. Notice the mistake there. The wasteland is not broken into warring territories. Danglers. I swear, there's like nobody in the world who catches them anymore. Anyway, broken into warring territories, its center has become a wasteland DMZ known as the Tropic of Kansas. Though this gaping geographic hole has no clear boundaries, everyone knows it's out there, that once bountiful part of the heartland, broken by greed and exploitation, where neglect now breeds unrest. Two travelers appear in this arid American wasteland. Sig, a fugitive orphan of political dissidents, and his foster sister Tanya, a government investigator whose search for Sig leads her into her own past and toward an unexpected future. Okay, so post-apocalyptic shenanigans in a dystopian America, a more dystopian America. That's intriguing. So we'll that's good. Let's keep going here. We'll make a mess here in the room. I actually had to move from the couch into the little book room here because the heat and humidity has reached such a combination here in Boston. It doesn't bother me at all, but I use as a yardstick in these elder hostile days. I use as a yardstick if my sweet old dog raises her head from a position of complete inactivity, semi-slumbering, and out of nowhere starts going, then it's time to move. Then she's not comfortable. So she's the reason that we're in here. But anyway, let's see what this next one is. I imagine it won't be the last time either. July is usually the hottest month of the year in Boston. So this one feels kind of strange. Oh, excellent. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I know what this is. The reason that it feels kind of strange is because it's a printed out PDF, which is a little unusual. Usually I get either an ARC or a finished copy. This is a printed out PDF. There's no binding at all, just pages of the new New York Review of Books classic of the collected essays of Elizabeth Hardwick. I don't know if this is going to mean anything. I'll show you the book when I get it. This is an absolutely joyous occasion. I mean, the NYRB classics are great anyway. They do a lot of good stuff. I was very interested to see they did just recently. What was it? They've been doing all of Patrick Leigh Former, which is great. But they also did. Oh, it's slipping my mind here. It was here. I'll find it. It was. Oh no, it's not in here. All right. Well, this is they're very nice to send me a catalog, which is nice. But anyway, the reason that this is a cause for joy is because it's never been done before. Ordinarily, they reprint things, and here these are reprints as well. But this is also new work. a big volume collecting the essays of the great Elizabeth Hardwick has never been done before. Instead, you have to go to used bookstores and find all of her individual volumes, and this will not be that. This will be everything. Fantastic. Oh, that is just incredible. All right, so this is going to be a little bit. It's a little bit annoying to read these things, but I'll gladly have the heads up to get started on it, and then I would hope that I will get the finished copy, which is that. That will be the finished. I hope that I'll get the finished copy when the time comes. Wonderful though. Oh, how wonderful of them. Okay, and then this thing, we've got cardboard. Although I won't lie, it's downhill for me from here. Nothing beats Elizabeth Hardwick. Absolutely nothing. But and especially a book that I have been waiting for a long time. I have been buying and reading her essay collections since she started putting them out, and I've been finding them and, you know, sending people copies of them and saying, here you go, you were just complaining to me that other day that you don't have any literary essays that are worth reading. Here you go, you're wrong. so I will finally have a volume to just point to people. That's a joyous occasion. But let's see here. Oh, okay. Alright, so this is Hook's Tale, the finished copy, being an account of an unjustly villainized pirate written by himself, by John Leonard Peelmeyer. Hook's Tale. So, story of Captain Hook from Peter Pan, told from his point of view. I remember I got the advance copy of this. This comes out in a couple of weeks. It comes out in late October, or late July. And I remember I got the advance copy of this, and it snagged at my memory, because I remember reading an absolutely wonderful book that had the exact same premise. It was a story of Captain Hook's tale that wasn't this, and it wasn't that long ago either. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago at the most. I will find I know I always make these promises. I will find my review of that book and put it in the comments field along with this thing. But this is just what it says. It's a novel about telling the story from Hook's point of view. I've read a few of those, actually, not just the old one, but the advanced copy of this, but others as well. They tend to be of a much of a muchness. They tend to be very alike, and one of the payoff moments in all of them is always, how did he lose his hand, which is and what's the bit with the crocodile. But I'll reread it, because I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing the finished copy now, and I'm thinking that my remembering it is blurring with some of the other versions of it that I've read. So I'll read it again to sort of nail it in place. And then we have the 3 boxes. So let's see what we have here. This is the first one. This is the smallest one of the 3. What have we here? Oh my. Okay. Oh wow. All right. So this is this is from Longleaf Press. No, Rutgers University Press. I've said on this channel before, I always freeze solid when I see a packing label like this. I'm always terrified that I'm going to be charged for all the books I get in the mail. Would be absolutely horrible, but they always end up being zeroed out, and that's good. But this is called Making Believe: Screen Performance and Special Effects in Popular Cinema by Lisa Bodie, and that is a still on the cover from 7-Pack-A-Day tobacco addict Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing the Frenchman who walked on a wire between the Twin Towers when they were still standing. That I thought was tremendous. The movie, I mean, some of the acting jobs in it weren't all that good, but exactly what this book is about, the visual effects were amazing, just amazing. Your heart's in your throat the whole time, when it really shouldn't be. I mean, you know perfectly well, Joe Gordon-Levitt can't climb a flight of stairs without hawking up his lung, so he's certainly not walking between buildings, and the buildings aren't there anymore. So it's easy to suspend your disbelief. But I wonder what will be in here. And I also, you know, when I see that screen performance and special effects in popular cinema from Rutgers University Press, I wonder that the author is going to take a really good subject and turn it into a dry academic treatise. That would be a shame. Yeah, see, chapter number 3 is titled "In Another's Skin: Typecasting, Identity, and the Limits of Proteanism." But I'll give it a try. All right, so then we move on to box number 2. What is box number 2? Oh, it's a Penguin classic. Oh, I'm not appeased, but it's a Penguin classic. It's the portable 19th century African American women writers, it's edited by Hollis Robbins and Henry Louis Gates, and there they are, some of the bravest women in the country. And this is like the NYRB thing with Lizzie Hardwick. This is a new anthology. This is breaking new ground, which I love. I love that. I love it when Penguin does that, because this will be invaluable in schools. Imagine having all this stuff in one place, excellently edited. So what do we got here? This comes out in late July. Most comprehensive anthology of its kind, darn near the only anthology of its kind. This collection comprises work from 52 black women from across America who wanted to tell their story of success and suffering, of outrage and overcoming, to friends and to the world. Many of these pieces, including memoir, poetry, essays, engage with social movements like abolition, women's suffrage, temperance, and civil rights. But the thematic center is black women's intellectual and personal ambition. The diverse selections include well-known writers like Sojourner Truth, as well as lesser-known writers like Ella Shepard, who offers a first-hand account of life in the Fisk Jubilee Singers, a world-famous singing group, and also Sarah J. Early, who celebrated the financial worth of black women since emancipation. Taken together, these incredible works insist that the writing of black women writers be read, remembered, and addressed. Wow, okay, fantastic. That's incredible. I love it when Penguin does stuff like this. I mean, they could easily have taken the easy road and just done a big volume of, for instance, the writings of Sojourner Truth. Unfortunately, way too few Americans have ever read her. She's one hell of a writer. But this is I actually prefer this approach, because this will take the better known writers and lift up the lesser ones to a prominence they deserve, and that most of them enjoyed in their own lifetime. So fantastic. Oh, fantastic. All right, wonderful. And then we'll do the last. The last box is big. It's let's see what this thing is. Good Lord. I'm not appeased. I want mail on Sunday. And I want mail on the 4th of July as well. For God's sake, this is America. If a mail carrier wants double overtime by working on the day in which we commemorate the nation's independence, isn't that the greatest freedom of all? All right. So what have we here? Oh, look at that! Maybe a little label up in Letters Monthly. Very nice. So. I have a feeling that this is going to surprise me, because what have we here? Okay, all right, yes. The reason that this surprises me is because it is an act of stellar generosity on the part of the publisher. This is the University of Regina Press, and I asked for this book by Barbara Mitchell, Mapmaker, which they only have in the galley here. So it's a day for unfinished books, it's Philip Turner in Rupert's Land in the Age of the Enlightenment. It's the first inland surveyor of the Hudson Bay's Company. Philip Turner stands tall among explorers and mapmakers of Canada. Accompanied by Cree guides and his Cree wife, Turner traveled 15,000 miles. To produce 10 maps, culminating in his magnum opus, a map that was the foundation of all Northern geographic knowledge at the time. Barbara Mitchell's biography brings to life the man who taught David Thompson and Peter Fiddler how to survive. In her search for Turner's story, Mitchell discovers her own Cree Orkney ancestry, and that of thousands of others who are descendants of Turner and his Cree wife. And I saw this. I saw a notice of this and wanted it immediately because I know almost nothing about Turner, and the little that I knew years and years ago struck me as the base as fodder for an absolutely fantastic story. And I bet this is it. I bet this is that story. But that's all I requested, and yet somebody very nicely sent me a bunch of other stuff. So let's see what we have here. First one is John Zwicky, The Long Walk. It just occurred to me. It just occurred to me that that this University of Regina Press, does this qualify me as CanLit? Is that what I'm doing? So I'm showing you a book from SFF 180 and now from Jason Purcell. Isn't this CanLit? Well, I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll see. So the first extra is The Long Walk. And in this novel, or in this book, the author bears witness to environmental and cultural cataclysm, both prophetic and acutely personal. These poems extend her previous meditations on colonial barbarism and ecocide, on spiritual catastrophe and transformation. So this is a slim volume of poetry. Yes, it is. All right. Okay. And then, what's this next one? Memoirs of a Muhindi, Fleeing East Africa for the West, by Mansour Lada. And we can see it in this lighting. This is a lovely little book. So what is this? When Ugandan President Idi Amin expelled Africans of Indian descent from the country in 1972, he unleashed an intolerance that set off an exodus from the entire religion. In Tanzania and Kenya, businesses were nationalized, properties taken, and livelihoods upended. Mansour Lada, who was living in Nairobi at the time, had to decide whether to stay or go. Canada became his new home, where he found considerable success, as did the rest of the Ismaili community, while East Africa never recovered from its fit of bigotry. Doesn't that sound good? Okay, that came out in April, but that's okay. And this one has a blurb from the mayor of Calgary. Wow, I am doing CanLit. I'm doing CanLit just like Jason Purcell, and I want you all to tell me in the comments field that I also look as good as Jason. Do it. So what is this next one? The next one is Towards a Prairie Atonement by Trevor Harriott. Set on a prairie remnant 7,000 years old, this book's lyrical blend of personal narrative, prairie history, imagery, and argument begins with the cause of protecting native grassland on community pastures. Facing his own responsibility as a descendant of settlers, Trevor Harriott, the award-winning author of Grass, Sky, Song, and River in a Dry Land, Grass, Sky, Song, and another book called River in a Dry Land. I don't want to butcher it. Good luck. You don't see Jason do that. Connects today's ecological disarray to colonial decisions to remove the Métis and their community land ethic from the prairie. Wow. Okay. And this comes out, all right. This came out in October of last year. Maybe some of these are just for my interest. I would certainly hope so, since it's October of last year. I can't really do much with that. And then the next one is Cloud Physics by Karen Enns. Seems like another slim volume of poetry. It is another slim volume of poetry. And it's her third collection. And it came out in March. I wonder if Jason knows these people. He's probably interviewed half of them. And then the last thing we've got here, it looks too big to be a slim volume of poetry. It's Road Through Time, the story of humanity on the move. A fossilized footprint there, by Mary Soderstrom. And what have we got here? This comes out in April. Okay, that's a little closer to the mark. In this beautifully written history of roads as vectors of change, Mary Soderstrom documents how routes of migration and transport have transformed both humanity and our planet. Good Lord. Accessible and entertaining, Road Through Time begins with the story of how anatomically modern humans left Africa to populate the world. She then carries us along the Silk Road in Central Asia and tells of roads built for war in Persia, the Andes, and the Roman Empire. She sails across the seas and introduces the first railways, all before plunking us down in the middle of a massive modern freeway. Interesting. Those two sentences in a very short blurb for this book wander to two different areas that don't involve roads. That's the original human migration out of Africa and all that sea travel. But doesn't matter. This sounds really good. She lives in Montreal and is the author of 14 books of fiction and nonfiction. Good Lord. Okay. All right. So what a way to end. How nice of them. But then they're Canadian. So we have Mapmaker. Now that is. Did I say when this comes out? That is big. This is the one. Okay, this comes out in October, and this is the one I asked for. I can't wait for it to read it. I will probably end up very soon reading the two Unbound Galleys. But you have Mapmaker, and then a bunch of other canlit. Because I love me the canlit. But me and Jason, you can hardly tell us apart when we're both wearing a natty sweater. Right? So there's a bunch of canlit. We'll do that. We'll put it off to the side. Then a great Penguin anthology. 19th century African-American women writers. The bravest people in the world. Everything against them. And yet writing with fire. Oh. Then a book that seems a trifle academic on a great subject, Making Believe, which is it's a great subject because it's almost our entire movie-going experience now. Think how many movies. When's the last time you watched a movie that didn't have green screen of some kind or other? That's so you've got a whole new realm of abilities that actors have to master in order to do that. Because if you're a working actor, you are going to deal with it. If you're an A-list working actor, you're going to have to learn sooner or later how to carry your craft to nothing at all. To, where a director tells you, all right, you're looking at a tornado, but you're not. But anyway, then Hook's Tale, for a novel from the point of view of Captain Hook, and then the collected essays of Elizabeth Hardwick, which I already can't recommend highly enough. There's not going to be anything in here that I haven't read and annotated and loved, but it's going to be a joy to read them again. And then The Tropic of Kansas, because I'm all over the map here. It's just SFF 180. There's Jason Purcell's channel. And then Tamed and Untamed, a bunch of very short pieces on different animal-related subjects that comes out in October. I will mention it the closer we get to the finished copy and to the release date, because I read a chunk of this already, and it is a perfect thing to give as a little gift. Just maybe somebody who loves animals but maybe isn't all that into reading, because it's a short book and the sections themselves are very short. And the Gurugu Pledge, a novel about African immigration. So it was a big boxy mail haul. It was all over the map. So it's kind of the way I like them. And that'll be it for now. And I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.